Yes, sir. Welcome to the first episode of HoopTakeJase. Earlier, you saw a pilot like a few months ago. I was just testing out the waters and seeing what I would like to talk about, what I wouldn't want to do, you know what I'm saying? And kind of got a clear conscience on what I'm going to do. So let's go ahead and get into it. Today's episode is kind of based off of something that we talked about in episode 17. We're talking about top five point guards. And it strived from the Marcus Cousins debate talking about Chris Paul not being a top five point guard of all time. And from there, we wind up discussing who are the top five point guards of all time. I talked about the top five like best. I kind of gave like a different point of view for different guards, different type of guards, let me say that. And then a little bit after that, we kind of Main gave out his five. And I don't know, I just started to think about what makes a point guard, To me, a point guard is, the main player that runs the offense. The ball is in their hands. They make the most decisions with it. Basically, the reflection of the coach on the court. That makes sense. And there's different ways to do that, different ways to go about that. And, you have your traditional, like John Stockton, there's assist guys. Then you got your scorer types, like Steph Curry, Kyrie Irving. And then you got like your defensive stoppers, like a Marcus Smart, things like that. And you just got the straight up freaks of nature, Magic Johnson, LeBron James, Luka. You got those type of players as well. So the top five I gave on the episode, I would like to revise. And here we go. Like my top five point guards of all time, I would say in no order: LeBron James, Chris Paul, Jason Kidd, Magic Johnson, Steph Curry. I'm going with that. I mean, you could put Kyrie in that regard as well, but Steph Curry went and got 2 MVP. And I'm not saying that MVPs mean that much. I'm saying like that's how much of an effect on the game he had, two, and then like the first unanimous MVP that we've ever seen. And the only other person that was close was Allen Iverson. And that's another thing. Like, depending on, to me personally, depending on the type of player and the type of effect you have on the game, I might not even recognize you as a point guard. Maybe other people will, but I personally don't, Like, I don't see Allen Iverson as a point guard. He's more like a shooting guard to me. Same thing with Steph to a regard, but the ball handling, and he does have playmaking ability, high playmaking ability. Not as much as people will probably like. And, there's an argument there that Draymond's the point guard of the team. But, yeah, so with point guards, that's what I got. That's my top five. Let's get into like my top five, like who I think the best players are, of all time. My top five best players, you know what I'm saying? Because I have different lists. Like I have best players, and there's also favorite players as well. Just because you're like my favorite, I'm able to recognize that there are players that are better than you. You know what I'm saying? And that's no disrespect. That's just being real, being realistic at the end of the day. Take the bias out of it. You know what I'm saying? We go best. I'm going LeBron James. I'm going Kobe Bryant. We're going best player. Shaquille O'Neal. Best players all time. Kevin Durant could be in there. And my fifth, like best players of all time. So should I see my own two eyeballs? I say throw. I don't want to put Michael Jordan in there, only because usually they mark him up. Especially the old heads, generation before mine, mark him up, as being better than LeBron James. But also in that, Kobe Bryant is a major student of the game and a major student of Michael Jordan's, and he arguably took what Michael did and did better with it. You know what I'm saying? I feel like he took it further than Michael did. They're like pretty much the same player. Michael and Kobe took it further than he did with that type of play style. It's kind of redundant to have them both being the same, both being in that top five conversation, I feel like personally. But yeah, I'm gonna say go ahead and put Michael in there. But it's kind of hard to put anybody else in that best five. You got to put KD in there. We're going off the talent, we're going off the effect of the game, we're going off the ability of the player. So yeah, that's my five. You can snap that for right now. It may subject to change, There's no telling what happens out here. Anyway, let's go to the next player. Next list. My favorite top five favorite players, basketball players, man, all time. LeBron again, I say LeBron, it's not even like being no Bron sexual or nothing like that. It's just recognizing greatness, what I see with my own two eyes again, That's what I grew up off of. That's what I grew up off of. Him and Kobe, you know what I'm saying? Being the best players, Shaq being one of the best players, Dwayne Wade being one of the best players, Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, Chris Paul, that's what I grew up seeing. So, yeah, LeBron James, Carmelo Anthony, always loved his scoring ability. It looks so smooth. One of the most smoothest players of all time. Like, one of the bag is infinite, has multiple counters. One of the only few people we've seen go head up against Kobe in the playoffs, you know what I'm saying? In that competitive space, could go head to head, shot for shot. And, and guard you, you know what I'm saying? Not just on scoring, but actually gonna get in your face and try to guard you as well to a high degree. I'll say J.R. Smith, man. We talking about favorite players, mind you. Electrifying. He plays like kind of like Kyrie in the sense that Kyrie's in that list too, but we'll get to Kyrie. But just plays like he's at the part, man. Ball handles, so so he can break your ankles. He had the athleticism, the IQ, the creativity. Let's say that creativity is insane. Like the type of shots he was taking, the amount of difficulty it took to get those shots off and be able to make them with, the ramifications behind a lot of those shots. If you don't make those shots, series look different. Championships look different. Careers look different without J.R. Smith being J.R. Smith. Like, I hope the game one day, fully recognizes J.R. Smith for who he is and not just try to keep him immortalized for that moment in 2018. He's way more than that. And I hope he sees this, you know what I'm saying? But, it's my fourth favorite player all time. Kyrie Irving, man. Kyrie fucking Irving. Never seen anybody do that with a ball, bro. Had the ball on the string. You think you got him, you don't. That's where you fucked up at, thinking you got him. One of the best finishes this game has ever seen. Best ball handle. Again, creativity. He plays like he's in the park. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of hard to come by. People play so formal sometimes, and some people just play just straight up chaotic, And he bounces that really well. We're going by favorite players. I gotta say Jimmy Butler, man. Jimmy Butler, top 5 favorite players. Cause, dude, if you follow his career, he wasn't made out to be this guy. He wasn't supposed to be this guy. Coming from the college he came from, coming from the upbringing he had. Then when he actually gets to Chicago, he's just like a defensive guy, playing the 3, playing the 2. He didn't even look the look. He didn't even have to look, bro. Ball cut for real, quiet, no emotion for real. And it's just like Derrick Rose goes down, he grows the hair out, and then it just takes off from there. He simply took a while. Like, he became who he became by putting in work while he was here. He didn't get to the NBA and just chill out. Hey, I'm here. This is what I'm just going to do. This is what they got me for. I'm going to just stay here. No. He got to this spot and he took off and went to a whole nother level with it. And not everybody does that. One of the best players Miami Heat's ever had. One of the best players Chicago ever had. Honestly, I wish he stayed in Philly. I would have loved to have seen them, win a championship together. That was one of the, best curated complete teams we ever seen, with Ben Simmons, pure point guard, can defensively lock up anybody, 1 to 5. Then you got J.J. Redick at the 2, one of the best shooters all time. At the 3, you got Jimmy Butler, ball handling, defense, scoring, all of that in one. Then you got a stretch 4 in Tobias Harris, who was, on the verge of becoming an all-star, especially before he got to Philly. And Joel Embiid, they were destined for greatness. Kawhi doesn't make that shot. There's no telling where we're going. There's no telling where we're going, man. But yeah, that's just my take. Just give you a little bit more insight about me and what I like in the NBA. We definitely will be getting more of this. No script involved in this. I just wanted to, clear some things off my mind and just express that to y'all. You know what I'm saying? It's been HoopTakeJase, episode 1. It's your boy, Jase. We out. Why didn't it record?